Hey everyone, Camden here with the Ranking Ball preview show for March 26, 2019. Let's go. Here are your standings after last night's games. The Minnesota Wolves are now out of playoff contention. There weren't that many games last night, so we have the Magic over the 76ers, Grizzlies over the Thunder, Jazz over the Suns, and Blazers over the Nets in second overtime. Last night there weren't that many games, but tonight there are plenty. We have Spurs at Hornets, Celtics at Cavs, Magic at Heat, Bulls at Raptors, Rockets at Bucks, Clippers at Wolves, Hawks at Pelicans, Kings at Mavs, Pistons at Nuggets, and finally Wizards at Lakers. And now for your sports news. In the NBA, the Portland Trail Blazers won last night in double overtime against the Brooklyn Nets. However, it came at a cost. One of their key players, Nurkic, was severely injured last night in double overtime and will likely be out for the season. In the NFL, the 2019 season will start with the Packers visiting the Bears Thursday, September 5th. This goes against tradition, whereas usually the Super Bowl winner starts off the inaugural season. And for esports, in the Overwatch League, the Vancouver Titans went through stage 1 undefeated when they beat the San Francisco Shock in the stage 1 playoffs. Tonight's featured match is the Houston Rockets at the Milwaukee Bucks. That is at 8 p.m. Eastern. Here are injuries going into tonight's match. Eric Gordon injured himself in the previous game, but is still probable to play in tonight's game. Possible starters include Paul, Harden, Gordon, Tucker, and Capella. For the Bucks, we have Bledsoe, Middleton, Antetokounmpo, Ilyasova, and Lopez. Here are your exclusive Ranking Ball stats going into tonight's game, where we give you how many fantasy points players are earning throughout their season. This is my winning 16, the 16 players who I think you should be choosing in tonight's draft. And I usually base this off their fantasy points divided by 48, which is how many points you can expect a single player to earn in a single minute of a regular match. Going into tonight's game, we have two players who are averaging more than 1 point per minute, which is James Harden and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Surprisingly, James Harden is earning a higher FP by 48 compared to Antetokounmpo. But we all know that Harden, especially when Chris Paul was out, was scoring a lot more points and controlling the ball more than any other player on the court. Now's the time where you can pause the video and look over the stats for tonight's game. These stats are provided to you by NBAreference.com and NBA.stats.com. On the bottom, I'm giving you the stats for the last 5 games, whereas both the teams are averaging the same amount of points in the past 5 games. And finally, here's my draft board where I give you my lineup going into tonight's game. Things you should know is that the Bucks is very heavy on the injuries, but they're still playing very well. And don't sleep on Brook Lopez. And a lot of times he's been passed around with many teams, but I think he's finally found his team with the Milwaukee Bucks, where he's become a key player on that team. They're earning him a coveted spot on the X, which is my main line going down here. So I want to thank everyone for watching today's Ranking Ball preview show. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, or come to our Telegram where you can come ask us any questions and we will try to answer them. You can also find links to our social media in the information down below. Again, I want to thank everyone for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.